This is a follow-up to the JB Weld fixing the exhaust pipe. Now, JB Weld has a very high tensile strength, and what we do is we mix a very small amount of equal amounts on a piece of junk cardboard. Then what I use is I use a little knife like this. It's really good to spread it on, and if you get it before it starts to dry, which you can't, it'll wash off with soap and water. Now we have a little tiny pinhole right here that's not supposed to be there, and the way you can tell is that you have a little oil on your pipe that's supposed to be coming out the end right here, okay, and it's somewhere else on the pipe, which it shouldn't be. Now these pinhole weld misses are they're almost impossible to detect from the factory. What happens is the little wire feed, the last bit of it creates a tiny little puddle on the very last part of the bead, and what that happens is it forms a little hollow space in there, and it's about as big as a pin, a standard little tiny pin. And I've seen this on a couple of pipes, brand new ones. One of them was a SEF, and what I did was I cleaned everything off with alcohol really well, used a toothbrush on it, then I used a little 800 grit sandpaper right here, and then what I did is I mixed up an equal part of JB Weld, the white and the black. It turns a kind of a gray color, and I let it sit overnight. Now JB Weld reacts with heat. That's what creates its chemical reaction. So you can use a hairdryer and get it better. If you like and you don't want it so runny, you can use a hairdryer on the pad that you have the JB Weld on until it starts to get tacky, and then put it on. Or you can leave it on and it takes about 24 hours. Now what I can do with this, and you can see how shiny it is, this sands really easy. Here is this is my headlight cover, and I decided that I had these divots in here due to the wiring. I was going to put a little bit of hardener in there and then paint it. It may go through the paint, but it won't go through the JB Weld. Now I've sanded this just a little bit with 800 grit right here, and I left it like this just to show you. You can see that JB Weld sands very easily. Then what you do is you put a little bit of primer on it and shoot it. What I can do if I really wanted to make this look nice, because the end of the one guard comes to right here, the end of the other guard comes to about right here, and you'll see this. But what I could do is take my 800 grit, and I could if I wanted to sand these edges and make this weld look just absolutely beautiful. I might just do that. One little tip I'll give you in auto body that you're not going to hear every day. If you get done, you'll feel this. Hear that? It's a little bit sticky, a little bit tacky. That is a residue from the chemical reaction of the two epoxies. That will get on your sandpaper. If you got some lacquer thinner, take a tiny bit of lacquer thinner on a towel, on a rag, whatever. Let's see. A little bit of lacquer thinner and go like this. Okay, that'll take that sticky film right off, and you'll get right down to the brass nuts right here, instead of having all kinds of like sticky glue on your sandpaper. That's just a trick. JB Weld works excellent for non-shear type holes, which means it works great on flat surface to flat surface like this to right here. But if you were to take a piece of metal like this and put it like that onto the pipe where it's not flat, it's at an angle, its snapping strength is not very good at all, and it'll probably snap off. But as far as holding two pieces together, or holding two parts that are very close together, or patching a small hole on your pipe, it works really good. And I'm going to put the black flame proof right there on the on the pipe, and let's see what this looks like. Here's the flame proof that I shot. Doesn't that look cool? It looks like a damn futuristic boomerang. Isn't that cool? We're gonna move to Brisbane, and I'm gonna have some quick fly nuts to take this off just in case I run into a 400-pound kangaroo that's pissed off. It doesn't like Americans like everybody else. Come real close and say, "Hey, I'm Canadian. Leave me alone. I'm Canadian." Okay, this is what the this cover looks like, painted with the black, and I had a little scratch right there because I put it under the bike like a dumb shit, and a little bit piece of the engine scratched it. But what I can do, I like the way it looks as long as it doesn't burn. I'll take a little bit of 800 grit and I'll scratch this up just a tiny bit just to get some edges so paint can grip. And I think I'll clean this up. And I'm taking pictures of everything, and I'm putting everything on photo bucket. If you push my link on my channel page for photo bucket, there's something like, I don't know, 1,500 or 2,000 photos, and all of my photos are done over here with my little camera. They're all done in 1100 or 1200 by 1600. That way you can really zoom in on the project and just see you can see the, you know, every tiny bit. And you may not need to see the little swirls and the rivets right here, but if you ever needed to, then the picture's already taken and you can do that. So I'm taking pictures of this whole project. If you push on that photo bucket link, it will take you right to my 12 albums, and you'll see all the pictures of my strokers, my dios, and all the dio work and the gyro work. So that's what JB Weld can do. See, I got a little bit too much paint on there, and I'm going to have to sand that down. But that's because it's cold, and I have a reason for doing that. But it's going to look a lot better. It's going to look a lot better. Everything is coming together. I've got a little bit more work to do. This is one piece right here. This goes underneath where the key goes, and I've got some clear on it right now. And what I'm going to do is probably put this away and let it sit for 2 or 3 weeks, and it will continue to shrink, and it will get more and more grainy and grainy and grainy. And then I'll bring it out. I'll take some 1000 grit, knock it down, give it another 2 coats of clear, and then polish it. So that is what JB Weld does for your pipes. It's cheap, it's easy, it can be repainted, resanded, and save you a whole shitload of money. Because I imagine that pipe right there is probably $300 if you could find it in that condition.